Vape News Radio, the voice of vaping. In each show, we share the latest about regulations and things you need to know, plus upcoming conferences and fests, along with interviews with the movers and shakers in this fabulous vape space. Are you looking to get into this ever-expanding marketplace? Do you want to master this industry? Listen up as Norm Bauer, the Vape Mentor, shares it all. And here's your host, Norm Bauer.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Vape News Radio, the voice of vaping. This is your host, Norm Bauer. This is show number 14, in case you're counting. And you know what? It's almost Christmas time. It's almost the beginning of the year, so happy holidays. And if you're listening to this after the fact, I hope you had a great holiday. And you know what, guys? We are taking you out in style because we have an amazing show today with not just one, but two interviews with one of the two most highly respected industry experts. Phil Busardo is one, and you might know that name. You might even know who he is. You might have seen some of the hundreds of YouTube videos that he's created. He is one of the best reviewers out there in the vaping industry. And we also have Nick, also known as Grimm Green. Who are they? What do they do? And why is he called Grimm? All these answers are going to be revealed to you in one of the next sections. You know what? We have had an amazing year here at Vape News Radio. We started this last spring. This is show number 14. We broke 210,000 downloads. So kudos to all of you out there that are listening.
Say that number again.
210,000 downloads. We're pushing about 40,000 downloads a month, and it's been creeping up, and I expect it to go even higher, especially after this show, because I know that we're going to get a lot of downloads from this.
Are that many people vaping?
Yeah. Actually, many more. There's a lot of speculation about how many people are. But even people who don't vape are still curious about the industry, and this is the number one show that teaches you about the industry and about the business of vaping. For those of you who are iTunes followers, obviously you can go ahead and download us, and you can go ahead and schedule your podcast to come in automatically. And for those of you who are Android lovers, like me, and then we like Stitcher. Stitcher is the best directory. So here's what's interesting, guys. I have been tracking where the downloads are coming from. And, of course, as you might expect, the significant number are here in the good old U.S. of A., about 75, 76%. Great Britain, number 2. And you know what's number 3? Afghanistan.
No way.
We have a huge following in Afghanistan, and I want to know why. I want to know who. So for those of you who are listening to this show and downloading it from Afghanistan, my suspicion is that you're military. Because I don't think you're holed up in a cave somewhere because you may or may not have internet access, although in today's world they might. So my suspicion is in the military today, Paul, you can't smoke. And you know, I'm not sure what the rules and regs are.
I didn't know that you can't smoke cigarettes if you're in the military.
Well, I guess there's certain restrictions. And to be honest with you, I need to find this out. And for those of you out there who are in the military, I'd love to have an interview with you and talk about vaping in the military because my guess is that there's a lot of interest and possibly a lot of presence. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be sharing with you in a moment our new program. I've been working on Vape U. That's the letter U, which stands for Vape University.
Vape U.
I've been working on Vape U since the early part of last spring. And it was originally going to be a one-day workshop, and over the months I've gotten a lot of suggestions and guidance. So Vape U is actually launching on the 2nd of February. It's a 6-week online course, and here's why I tie it together to the military. I'm going to be offering some free scholarships to active military, ideally in Afghanistan. So for those of you who are in Afghanistan, if you are in the active military, or if you are an active military somewhere else besides Afghanistan, I want you to send me a note, and I'm going to give away a handful of free scholarships to Vape U, which would normally be about $600 because, you know, if you have an interest in this, we have an interest, I have an interest in helping you, learn more about the industry. Moving on. Pardon me. Moving on. Been a quiet month, this month of December, for events and shows, but starting in January, we are gearing up again. There's going to be a brand new set of shows out called Vapor Shows, which I'm going to be involved with. It's going to be rolling out next year in 2013. But the biggie is in Las Vegas, and that's called TPC. And this is only for tradespeople, so if you're in the business, that you might be eligible to go to TPC, but if you are not in the trades, then you probably would not be able to go. It's in Las Vegas. It's very, very heavily attended, primarily by big and medium tobacco, convenience stores, and it kind of predicts a little bit about what's happening for the year in the way of a lot of products that you're going to be seeing through those distribution outlets, those channels. So I'm going to be going to TPC. I probably am going to be speaking out there. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but that's going to be the end of January in Las Vegas. We have probably right now on the slate well over a dozen events next year in 2015. And I know this because I am the national event coordinator for Vape News Magazine. So whenever someone out there puts together an event, they let us know, and it goes into our master directory, and then we decide what we're going to do as far as whether we want a booth, whether we're just going to cover it, or whether we're just going to give some promotional material. So for all of you out there that do have an event, by all means, get a hold of us here at Vape News Magazine and Vape News Radio, and we'll absolutely be happy to put your banner, on our page, and also, plug you into our calendar. And as far as whether we cover it or not, it's going to be based on available people and what we feel that we can deliver for you. So I want to go back and talk about VapeU. VapeU, which is the School of Higher Vaping, which I might change that. I'm not sure. I'm getting a little bit of pushback.
Is that like the School of Hard Knocks?
I kind of equate it to the School of Rock. It's kind of like VapeU. And what we've done is I've put together what I call the 6 pillars of vape success. And I'm going to read these off to you because I think it's something that you might want to know.
Now, did these come to you on a tablet, and did somebody walk down a mountain and hand these to you? No.
I would call it divine perspiration here. It's been a long time coming. So if I've talked to hundreds, many hundreds of people, and I've worked with many dozens of people over the last year, I have put together kind of a model of where I think people should start, where they should go, and ideally where they should end. So the first module is going to be on creating a successful business model. It's really about self-identification of what model works best for you. Section 2 is on branding and competitive positioning, which happens to be my core strength. The public out there, guys, they think that we're all the same. They look at one vape shop, they look at another, they look at one juice, they look at another, and they think they're all the same. But we're going to show you how you can absolutely redeem yourself and stand out and absolutely crush the competition, because that's what we want to do. Section number 3, class number 3, is about product selection, because after people realize that they don't know much about business, and I teach them about business, they realize that they don't know what products to carry. So we are going to be going through a whole module on product selection, what juices, what hardware, what to sell, how to display, etc. And part 4 is customer acquisition, retention, and service. I had 2 conversations today with, ironically enough, 2 clients in Florida, which is my number 1 state. And, they were both doing extraordinarily well. And I said, why are you doing so well? What's working so well? And he said, it's really just about customer service. So they were walking me through the process of what they do. And, I'm glad that they followed the direction I gave them, because it's one thing to tell someone what to do or teach someone to do, but it's another thing when they actually do it. So part 4 is going to be on customer acquisition. Part 5 is dealing with the law. Some of us tend to...
I fought the law, but I think the law won.
The law will almost always win, guys. And here, when we're talking about the law, we're talking about primarily local politics, state politics to a lesser degree, but more importantly, the Fed, the FDA. One of the questions that I get a lot of is what kind of licenses and permits are required, and these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about in Part 5 of VapeU. And then last, but certainly not least, we have social media. Having a Facebook page, having an Instagram, Twitter account, that's all well and good, but unless you know how to use them, it's like having a really high-end sports car. You got some guy in a really nice Ferrari, and he's driving it just back and forth to 7-Eleven to pick up groceries, and, that's not what it's all about. You got to understand how to use social media. So understand, it's not just me that's going to be instructing. I actually have an amazing inventory of speakers that's going to be helping me. I've got David Collins, who's the CEO of California Vaping Company, who you might remember, Paul, he was actually on the show here back in June.
Absolutely.
David is a brilliant entrepreneur. He started and sold multiple companies. I also have Ray Yang, who's one of the co-promoters of Vape Nights. He's a social media guru and a genius, and he's going to be teaching you and teaching me about social media and how to apply it in the vaping industry.
I want to be the yin to his yang.
You do. I've got Maria Vervin, who is the the Vamp Master, the Vape.
The Vamp. The Vape Vamp.
She is the vaping vamp. Well, she is the vaping vamp. And she's going to talk about probably the most overlooked, the most underappreciated market out there, and she's going to tell you how to tap into that. And then lastly, I'm very, very happy to have Michael Gouache, and you might not know his name, but you probably know his company, which is Molecule Lab. Molecule is the largest manufacturer of liquids out there for other people. They do not have their own line, but they are an outsource. They are a contract manufacturer for many, many, many products, including some that you know of and probably some that you already smoke right now. So Michael's going to be talking about e-liquids, and that's going to be a very, very exciting conversation. So again, our 6-week course is called Vape U. You can go to VapeMentors.com, and you can go ahead and look for information on that. And the class starts on the 2nd of February. And for those of you who are listening to this now, there's some discounted prices, but you might not hear the show until after that fact. But if you hear this before Christmas, I advise that you get to the website ASAP, because we have some discounts that are going to be available through them.
Otherwise, it's Vape U.
Vape U. Yeah, otherwise we're going to be charging the $5.99 price. Okay, I want to tell you a little bit about Masters of Vape. I've kind of mentioned this before, but Masters of Vape is the new book that I'm writing with Maria, and it's about those who are crushing it in the e-liquid space, and that is actually going to be coming out in January. So if you are curious about e-liquids, if you want to start your own company, or if you have your own company and you aren't quite making your headway in there, you just let us know, because Masters of Vape is going to be exploring that and sharing everything about the e-liquid market. And to tie into that, man, I feel I got so much stuff to cram in, but you know what? This is the only show we're doing for December, just because of the holidays and some travel time.
Unraveling traveling.
I know. So I've mentioned before the company called Enjoy. Enjoy is not big tobacco. We call them medium tobacco. They are a private company, and they are based out of Scottsdale. And these guys are real game changers. They are real game changers. And they came out with a line of 10 liquids a few months ago, which you now can find at your local C-stores. And that's very unusual, because now you have a major known company that's out putting their product into the C-stores. But they also came out with something that's very, very innovative. It's called the Artist Collection. And you may have heard something about it, but what they did is they scoured the world and they found 5 of the top craftsmen. And they said, we want you to develop a line of liquids just for us. It's going to be part of our artist collection. And so it's not even available on the market.
What kind of artists?
These are artists who know how to craft e-liquid. So think in terms of like
home brewers kind of thing here, or distillers for whiskey.
Think in terms of the Wolfgang Puck type of syndrome, where you have these people who are amazing with cooking or amazing with crafting wine or beer.
Right.
Well, that's the way it is in the e-liquid space. And so the e-liquids that really sell are the ones who either have, a really good marketing gimmick behind it or ploy behind it, and then also the ones who have really amazing juice. So this is a line of 5 different juices from different parts of the world. And so I have in my slippery little hand, I have 3 sets of Artist Collection. I have no idea what they're going to sell for, because they aren't even on the market. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving a set away to one of the attendees of Vape U. So if
you're always giving stuff away, knock it out. Knock it off here. You're always giving it away.
I believe in giving, brother. I believe in giving. If you give first, you get later. So for those of you who are interested in Vape U, this is a little bit of a tease or a little bit of a bribe. So if you go ahead and register for Vape U, you will be put into a random drawing. And here's the kicker. So next month for January's show, I want you to pay attention, because right here in this studio, and you're hearing this for the first time, Paul, we're going to be having
What's going to happen?
Well, we're going to have one of the artists who is one of the 5.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to be reviewing all the juices.
How do you become... I understand if you want to distill wine, or you want to be a... what am I saying? What do they call it? The guys who make the wine. I can't even think of it right now. But you're a distiller for Scotch. Yeah, you're a vintner.
Yeah, vintner.
And you, or a brewer or whatever. How would you? There can't be classes for this like there are for other things.
No, you really just become awesome.
Winemaker. I was trying to think of the winemaker.
Yeah, basically how you really create a presence in the vaping industry is you create a really amazing product that people like and especially they talk about. And, 10, 20 years ago, you wouldn't really be that well known unless you had a real good publicist behind you. But today, in this world of social media, you don't necessarily need to have what you would call a conventional PR campaign. If people like your stuff, they will let you know, and they will let others know. And so we have one of the 5 artists who is here in Southern California, and so he's going to be coming in with the January show, and we're going to be reviewing all 5 flavors. So in the show notes here, I'm going to put in the link to the video that kind of announces which 5 flavors and what they're all about, and you can guess which one of the artists are actually going to be coming in here in the month of January.
Amazing.
Okay, one last thing as we come to the end of section number 1. I wanted to let you know that the book VapeMentors is done. It's on Amazon, and I've been getting some really awesome 5-star reviews, so thank you for all that. And so if you'd like to get yours in time for Christmas,
I want to get mine.
Didn't I bring you one?
You did.
I did bring you one.
I just love the saying, it's time for you to get yours. Yeah, I want to go out and get mine.
All right. So for those of you who are interested in getting into the vaping industry, or maybe who are, but you're not quite, doing what you want to, I suggest that you either, come to VapeMentors.com and download the book, or buy the hard copy of it. If you buy the hard copy of it, by the way, I've been sending out a free sample of juice in every one, and
cool.
I don't really make that known, but I'm sharing it here right now. So if you buy VapeMentors, the hard copy...
Don't tell anybody.
No,
only you know.
No, I want people to know, because I got an amazing collection of juice. People send me stuff all the time, and I don't vape, so I just assume it goes to somebody who has a greater appreciation of it than I. I mean, I have an appreciation of the skill that's involved, but since I don't vape...
Your skill is in the business.
Is in the business, baby, yeah. So again, VapeMentors is done, and also if you are interested in getting the book and also getting a free 45-minute phone consultation, I'm still offering that. I'm doing that with a couple people right now. So for $97, you get the book, hard copy, some free juice, and a 45-minute phone consultation.
Everybody should get that.
Okay, I think that I'm pretty much done at the end of Section 1. So this is Vape News Radio, the voice of vaping. When we come back, we're going to have an interview with Phil Busardo, followed by Grimm, Nick Green. So do not go away. We will be right back.
As always, you're tuned to the first installment of this month's Vapepreneur Radio, the only show that takes a look at the vaping industry from the inside out, from the business aspect, giving you all the ideas and information you need to succeed in this rapidly growing industry. Brought to you by Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio.